Like MacGyver, I'm gonna make it, when will they learn? I am the driver, I am a rider. Guess you can hate me, not my concern. I'm a survivor, I'm like MacGyver. I'm gonna make it, when will they learn? Right when you doubt me, move on without me. That is the moment that I return. Don't clock in, I don't count hours. I won't leave, won't hit the showers. Won't stop till I get my flowers. Yeah. Hate or doubt, don't know what's cuter. Count me out, you need a tutor. Won't shut down, I'm no computer. I'm a survivor, I'm like MacGyver. I'm gonna make it, when will they learn? I am the driver, I am a rider. Guess you can hate me, not my concern. I'm a survivor, I'm like MacGyver. I'm gonna make it, when will they learn? Right when you doubt me, move on without me. That is the moment that I return. A battle cry for the nights that really I could have died. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Every time that I ever broke down and I cried. Ayo, ayo, ayo. To the people who try to make me run, make me hide. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Told me that they love me, but in the end they lied. Ayo, ayo, ayo. I gotta push forward, I'm never hitting reverse. Ayo, ayo, ayo. To the woman who led me, I've never seen her since birth. Ayo, ayo, ayo. To the people who told me I'm stupid and I was dumb. Ayo, ayo, ayo. And to those who told me what I would never become. Ayo, ayo, ayo. I'm a survivor, I'm like MacGyver. I'm gonna make it, when will they learn? I am the driver, I am a rider. Guess you can hate me, not my concern. I'm a survivor, I'm like MacGyver. I'm gonna make it, when will they learn? Right when you doubt me, move on without me. That is the moment that I return. Making paper like Michael, I'm feeling like a boss. Never took a break, not Rachel and Ross. They've been too biased, they can get crossed. 815, now it's time to get lost. Henny in your system, a system like Dennis. Yes, I found a lane like my last name Bennis. Going Bill 9, so they can deny. Yes, I've been cooking in a lab like a chemist. Hate it or love it, but I won't stop till the day that I reach the top. Oh yeah. A legend is what I'll be. I ain't going nowhere, so you can get to know me. I don't care what you have to say, everything is gonna be okay. Yo, if y'all ain't got nowhere to go, just sit back, enjoy the show. Just sit back, enjoy the show. Just sit back, enjoy. And I ain't got shame, that's just me being frank. I invested in myself like a shark, no tank. I made it through the weeds like Nancy, no dank. To the day I get a Grammy saying who I wanna thank. If y'all ain't talking dope, then y'all ain't saying nothing like Maggie. Redefining hip-hop, the tracks are still swaggy. Thought I cooled off, thought you had me, but my lines burn after reading like Bradley. Hate it or love it, but I won't stop till the day that I reach the top. Oh yeah. A legend is what I'll be. I ain't going nowhere, so you can get to know me. I don't care what you have to say, everything is gonna be okay. Yo, if y'all ain't got nowhere to go, just sit back, enjoy the show. Just sit back, enjoy the show. Just sit back, enjoy the show. Stayed around the stew like Dill. Bet I could put you in your place like Phil. Call Miss Keaton, I'm going for the kill. Tim Taylor flows, y'all people know the drill. Or act out of character, yeah, that's American crime. Y'all like Peralta only going 9-9. I give 100%, I got a hunger for the game. Like I 8 to 11, I was made for pride.
Motherfucker!
Hold on, I hope y'all watching this shit.
first round real quick.
Only the people that are in those training rooms with him know how good.
Because he just knocks dudes out real quick in the first round.
Yeah, but now we're gonna get a good. I'm not fucking with this guy. He just, to me, I thought he was a con artist, just based off his look.
They're edge. Holy shit! What the hell just happened?
What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to G.S.R. Gonzo Sports Room. Friday, September 17th, 2021. Got a big show planned for today. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. How you doing, Steve and Eric?
Doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good, brother. You know, hanging in there. Just gave out them easy money picks, you know, just did easy money. Y'all need to go check that out. Get them picks ASAP Rocky, man. Well, not too bad. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
But you're right. You don't want to miss out on that easy money. Make sure you go check easy money out.
APG got Devontae.
We're live. We're live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern with Easy Money, a sports betting show. Come join us, like Steve said. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch every day, 11 a.m. Eastern, giving out winners for free. Don't go pay people for their opinion. If you want to pay somebody for their opinion, instead of doing that, just hit up our donation page. And hell, you ain't had to do that if you don't want to. Just listen. Like our stuff. Hell, we appreciate it. Give a shout out to Jordan Bell. Just followed us.
Shout out Jordan Bell.
And before we get started again, send out our thoughts and prayers to Matt G
and his family.
Yeah. You guys need anything, get a hold of your GSR family over here.
Yep. Yeah. If y'all need anything, let us know.
Well, before we get into this, you guys got anything you guys want to talk about?
Before we do this, before we air the interview, I saw from some of the other guys that we've interviewed and some of the guys that we've been watching and stuff from, you know, the independent wrestling scene, and I heard of some bad news that one of the pro wrestler was Austin Fury had passed away, so
we'll also give
condolences to his family,
thoughts
and
and prayers out to you guys,
fellow wrestlers that worked with him as well. So our condolences from GSR to you guys and to the family of Austin Fury as well.
Yeah, definitely. Thoughts and prayers go out to the family and everybody involved in that. That was sad news this morning. Also, I want to give a big shout out to all the guys that came on the show, all the pro wrestlers that we've interviewed. It's either came in here or done the Zoom. We had Luke Savage, Dutch Boy Platinum, Logan Myers, The Highlight Reel, Dalton Love, Zay Gates, Eric Onyx, Blake Money Wright. We got Hollywood House scheduled for next Friday. I'm going to give a big shout out to all you guys because not only did you guys come on the show, but you guys also been sharing our stuff. A lot of you keep liking our stuff. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I know y'all are a pretty tight-knit community, and a lot of y'all know each other, so, you know, we're with y'all and sending y'all thoughts and prayers on, you know, losing one of y'all fellow members of y'all's community.
But after that, we had a great conversation with Blake Money Wright. Great conversation. I think you guys will enjoy that. Did you have anything, Steve?
Oh no, man! Just
Dude's
appreciate everybody, man. And Blake Money Wright, he's a beast. You know what I'm saying? And appreciate everybody doing the interviews, man. Y'all been real cool and shit. Laid back, chill, keeping it real. So just appreciate that, man. Shout out Blake Money Wright. Big money.
All right. Well, without further ado, we'll go ahead and air this interview with number 1 overall pick, Blake Money Wright. And we'll see you guys after this interview's over. And hope you guys enjoy. All right, we're joined tonight by Blake Money Wright. Also, Eric's in here with me as normal. Of course, Steve couldn't make it tonight. I think he's still lost.
He's still missing. So, everybody, keep an eye out. Stevie's missing again. No, actually, he's just bowling. But no, how's it going, Blake?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Oh, doing pretty good. Good to have you on. I know we've had some of your fellow guys that you work with, and I don't know if you're their friends or their enemies. I'm sure they probably do a little bit of both at one time, have they not?
I was about to say, depending on who it is, yeah, perhaps a little bit of both.
How long have you been doing pro wrestling, and what inspired you to get into pro wrestling?
Yeah, so my very first day of training was on January 21st of 2020. And then I had my first match on June 26th, 2020. That's my right wrist tattoo. I got that tattooed on me. So a little over a year, and I've been able to accomplish quite a bit in that time frame. About 160 matches in, so definitely been staying pretty busy. And really what inspired me to be a professional wrestler was growing up as a kid. I either wanted to be two things. I wanted to be a professional football player, or I wanted to be a professional wrestler. And I actually played college football, and shortly after my junior season of football, I learned very quick that NFL teams probably aren't going to draft a barely 6 foot white guy that runs like a sub 4.8 40. So that's when I made my move and transitioned to professional wrestling.
Nice. And if I was reading right, you played football at Anderson University?
Yeah, so I played college football at Anderson University in Anderson, Indiana. That's correct.
Nice. Where'd you play in high school at?
So in high school, I am billed from Fishers, Indiana, and I actually went to Hamilton Southeastern in Fishers, Indiana. So one of the many authentic things about Blake Money Wright.
So since you do have such a high level already, of competitiveness and athleticism too, was that easy for you to transition, or did you find it harder because it's like, was it harder than you thought when you first started?
Absolutely. And I think anybody that says, oh, it's easier than what I thought it would be, I think they're lying to you. So it absolutely was a lot harder than I thought. But I like to think that I caught on, fairly quickly. I had a great trainer in Jake Oman. I'm still training underneath him. The training never really stops, but it was definitely a lot harder than what I anticipated.
Harder than football?
Oh, absolutely. I think, I had college football 2 days where I'd roll out of bed at 3:45 in the morning, go lift, go, put on the shoulder pads, bang heads for 2 hours, then go to class, then get treatment. And then after that, go back to, 3-hour practice. And I still think professional wrestling is harder than college football, mentally and definitely physically as well.
When you got into pro wrestling, what surprised you the most about it?
I would just say how much it hurts. I think that the common misconception with professional wrestling is that it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, but I assumed that ring was, just like a foam mattress. And then I learned very quickly that it's wood and steel beams. And, so I definitely didn't expect it to be as physical as it is. But that would probably be the biggest takeaway. And the ropes too. Like, I always thought the ropes would be fun, but they're steel elevator cables, so like the ropes, the ring, just how hard and stiff it is. That was probably the biggest shock when I first got started.
And what do you think And what was the most difficult thing for you when you first started? Like, was it like on the
Um,
mic? Was it something physical, like a move, or was it just like a mental block to, hey, push past this to do what I need to do to get better?
that's a great question. I think everyone has their own thing. I definitely won't say it was talking. I've always felt that, public speaking and me talking is one of the big reasons why I have the fan base that I have. But probably the biggest thing for me, and now I'm kind of getting known for my strikes was just throwing picture perfect strikes. I think that was my biggest issue, early on. And, I think I'm slowly but surely turning it into my biggest strength inside of the ring.
Uh, what pro wrestlers did you look up to and maybe like mold your style off of?
Yeah, I think that I've been influenced by a lot of all-time greats, and I think that all of them are kind of combined, and out comes the love child that is me, Blake Money Wright. So I would say definitely The Rock. The Rock, that was my first ever professional wrestling memory. Just his charisma, the way, when he enters, a room, all eyes are on him. You're just drawn to him. In wrestling, they say that he has it, and I definitely saw that the first time I watched him. So definitely The Rock. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up, John Cena. CM Punk is a huge influence to me. Ric Flair, that's my all-time favorite wrestler by a country mile.
Nice.
And most recently, Katsuyori Shibata. He's a Japanese wrestler. He had what they're claiming to be a career-ending head injury a couple of years ago, but I love everything about Katsuyori Shibata. That's the guy that I probably watch and study the most these days.
How much time do you put into your wrestling? I mean, it's probably like a 24/7 thing, I imagine, but like to actually do the studying, like you were saying, watching film, in the ring, in the gym, just all of it combined. About what does it take to do what you do?
I mean, it takes a lot. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. Like today, I did like an Ask Me Anything on Instagram, and a fan asked me, when my next match is, just because I took some time off from a promotion that they regularly attend. And I told them like I never take time off. I haven't taken time off. And it's a lot. It's a lot into my daily life. Essentially any free time that I have, I do. I mean, I'm in the gym almost every single day. Right when I get off of work, I'm going to lift, and right after I'm done lifting, I'm going to go watch, wrestling, or I'm going to go watch my own stuff. I mean, it's 7 days a week. I don't really give myself a break from it, because I'm a believer that if I'm not doing everything in my power to become the best professional wrestler that I can be, then I'm failing. Like that's just kind of me. Like I'm a big Kobe Bryant guy. Like Kobe Bryant, he's my favorite athlete, and I try my best to mimic his Mamba mentality.
That's definitely a good mentality to look up to. You can definitely tell it in your matches. We were watching a few of them earlier, and let me tell
Okay.
you, you and Jake Omen put on a couple hell of a shows. I was like, the stuff y'all were doing in those matches was pretty crazy.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm definitely proud of those. With him being my trainer, obviously he's going to be a lot harder on me, and I'm very appreciative of that. But yeah, I mean, the matches that we've had, I mean, he is the steamboat to my Flair. Like he makes it. We just click. We just have that natural chemistry. We both have similar mindsets when it comes to the business. And yeah, arguably one of my all-time favorite opponents I've ever had. Like the outside cage match we had at WCWO for the Outlaw Championship. That's probably my favorite match to this day.
In the rain with the headlights lighting up, man, that was sick. That was
Oh yeah,
so
and that was
sick.
oh yeah, and it was a big blow off to like a 3 month story that we had built. And I think it was in like May or June. And like fun fact about that is, so we got the green light like a week before from Joey Owens. Joey Owens, he's a good mentor of mine. We got the green light from the Do It Outside, and I was like, okay, cool. Like summer just started. It's probably going to be like 80 degrees and sunny. Like instead, it was like 42 degrees as the bell rang. It was the main event. It was like 42 degrees. It was raining. Like, and the canvas was soaking wet too. So everything hurt even more. Like the canvas was damn near frozen, and yeah, that was definitely a memorable one. Especially because I wrestle in pretty much my underwear. So definitely a cold one. The first thing I wanted to do after that match was A, get all the blood off my face, and B, take a hot shower. So, but definitely that's definitely my all-time favorite match by a mile.
Yeah, that was a real good match. We watched. That was one of the matches we watched earlier.
Yeah. Okay, nice.
That was, it looked cool, especially with the headlights and everything.
Yeah,
it just made it
all of it.
The whole environment look cool.
Oh, it was cool, yeah. Because with it raining, most fans they got in their cars and they just turned on their headlights and just kind of circled around the ring. Some of the fans were sitting outside, and it was cool. I actually I borrowed, I believe it was Eric, the guy that you guys had interviewed. So my wrestling initials are BMW. I actually borrowed his BMW for my entrance as I drove up, and I was planning on like just honking the horn, getting my Eddie Guerrero on, and then that's when I learned very quickly that his horn didn't work in his BMW, and I was like, oh, Eric, like, come on, man, we gotta get that fixed. So shout out to Eric. And it was funny because essentially everything I wanted to do for that entrance kind of went wrong. Like I was thinking like, oh, well, like, I'll lay on the horn and then, who knows, maybe I'll just go through the sunroof. And then that's when I learned really quickly. Like I got in the car like maybe 10 minutes before the match started, and, I was starting it up, and I was like, man, like I'm not going to fit through this tiny sunroof. So that didn't go to plan, but the match was great. So, but again, shout out to Eric Collins for letting me borrow his BMW for my entrance.
What is it that you think is the hardest thing about the independent wrestling scene?
I would say it's tough to measure success, right? So, it's the minor league system essentially for all the major promotions in a way, right? And it's and I'm a big baseball fan. I'm a Chicago Cub fan, unfortunately. The Cubs, it's easy to tell how their prospects are doing in Iowa, because you can look at their batting average, you can look at their home runs, if they're a pitcher, you can look at their ERA, but in the independents, it's very hard. Wrestling, it's kind of like gymnastics. To some people, they might rate the match, a 10, but to some people it may be a 3, and they can't really tell you why. So I would say it's that, and it's just it's tough, mentally, because you have to take any and every opportunity. I don't remember the last time I had a Saturday off. And you're on the road constantly, and you're making all these sacrifices. You're not going to be home with your family. You're not going to be home with your friends. You may not see your girlfriend. And it's tough, and you're making all these sacrifices for the potential of being at a WWE or a New Japan or an AEW. So I would say all those things are probably the hardest thing about the independent scene.
What do you think do you think there's anything that could be changed to help just to help everybody in general in the short time that you've been doing this? Like, is there something that you saw that like maybe, hey, this should maybe be like this or like this, and it would seem like,
I think the biggest thing that's really helped out the independents is, in my mind right now, I think there is never been a better time to be a professional wrestler. Because, a few years ago, really the only company that you could make a great living off of this was World Wrestling Entertainment. But now, you have so many big companies. You have WWE, you have AEW, you have Impact, you have MLW, And you also have the GCWs of the world. New Japan has been around since '72. It's not going anywhere. But there's so many great promotions and there's so many good places to work for. And the great thing about all of them is they're all a little different. One's focused on sports entertainment, one's focused on professional wrestling. So I think that's gone a long way, but I think the big thing that could, really help out the independent scene is, people just going out and getting quality training. I think that could be the biggest thing that helps out a lot of people, because I think you can easily tell it shows, what guys were properly trained and what guys weren't.
Have you wrestled only in Indiana, or have you been to other states?
No, so I've been, in my short time in the business, I've been around to quite a few places. But I've also been in Michigan. I've wrestled in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've been in Kentucky. I've been in Illinois. I've been in Ohio. I've been pretty much all across the Midwest. I'm someone who definitely believes in challenging themselves, and that's I'm pretty much always on the go. Like, for example, this week I'm mostly in Indy, but I've got 5 shows in 3 days. I've got WCWO on Friday, and then I'm rolling out of my bed going to the gym Saturday morning. Then I got a show in Beech Grove, Indiana. Then I'm opening that show. Then I got to go to Mooresville, Indiana later in that night. I'm closing out the show in a tag match. Then Sunday, I'm going to Greenfield to start my day, and then I got to drive all the way up to Bourbon to end my day. So, I'm not one of those. Yeah, so I'm always on the go. I'm not one of those guys that just wants to have one show a week. I want to wrestle as much as I can. So definitely on the go.
Oh, what's the differences like from state to state? Is there different styles?
Yeah, I mean, and there's definitely different styles. Depending on where you're at. Michigan's a very fast paced, high flying, hard hitting state. I think Indiana, you have a good mix of pretty much everything. If you're a wrestling fan, I think you'll love going to an Indiana professional wrestling show, just because you see your high flyers, you see your technicians, you see like your big personas. And then, when it comes to Philly, the fans, they're loud, they're in your face, they're pretty much like Philadelphia Eagle fans, but on steroids. And then, Kentucky, it's close to Tennessee. So they kind of like to see that old school Memphis like style. So it definitely changes where you go. And I think it's, you can tell the difference between the good and greats, because they know who's in attendance and they know who to adapt their style to.
So, is there anybody that you have not worked with yet that's an independent scene that you would really love to, and anybody that's like maybe like a legend or somebody from the past that it would have just been your dream match of all time?
Yeah, so someone that's still on the end of, well, I'll just do the dream match off the get go. That would probably be CM Punk. Because that was a dream match that I never thought I would actually be able to happen, just because like everyone, I thought he was retired with professional wrestling, and the second he came back to AEW, I was like, okay, like that's my dream match. Yeah, I felt like that. I think it's like, what is it, Dumb and Dumber? So you're saying there's a chance, like that's pretty much how I felt. So definitely Punk for my dream match, but someone I haven't worked with on the independents, oh man, that's tough, because I've pretty much worked like I made like an internal list of people that I wanted to work in my first year, and I got to work quite a bit of people. So I mean, really that's tough, but someone that's still on the indies, this is going to be kind of like a cop-out answer because he was once signed, but Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, he's been killing it on the indies, man. Like, he's so charismatic, the whole entire like deathmatch king persona. I would definitely say that's a dude I want to work with on the indies. So I would say Matt Cardona for a dude that's just on the independent scene that I would want to work.
That would be a hell of a match.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What's the worst bump you've taken?
Man, boy, I've taken definitely some painful ones. But I would probably say the most painful one that I had is I was working in a pretty hardcore match at WCWO, and I took a pretty much like a veal throw through like a judo throw through a pane of glass. And that one stung. Like I was finding pieces of glass in my body for weeks. Like in the shower, like I would just every single time I'd wash my hair, I'd wash my skin, I would just have shards of glass coming out of my body. It was disgusting. So that was probably the most painful one that I've ever taken by far.
So
and I'm not a hardcore guy.
You said you also do tag team matches, right?
Once in a blue moon, I'll tag. Mostly, I'm booked as a singles performer, but yeah, every now and then, like I have a tag team match this weekend, but I'm not like affiliated with a certain tag.
Do you have to change your style in the way that you approach a match whenever you do a tag?
Absolutely, because you're working together as a team. So like this Saturday night, I'm teaming up with my trainer Jake Oman. So I mean the moves will still be the same, right? But I might do certain moves later on or earlier on in the match, and you got a partner, so you gotta use that to your full advantage. But tag team wrestling, I feel like is a unique style of art for professional wrestling, and it's something that my trainer Jake Oman is very, very keen on. So definitely excited for that.
Have you been both heel and babyface, and which one do you prefer?
So I've been heel and babyface. I think a lot of guys pick heel because it's easier to get people to hate you than it is to get people to like you. But I've been both, but truthfully, I think I prefer being a baby face. I think that's I think I can go as either or, and I can get a crowd reaction as either or, but baby face is definitely my preference.
Yeah, that's what Zay said. He said he'd rather be a baby face than Eric said he'd rather be a heel.
I mean, some guys, you never know. You never know.
Eric likes being a heel because he can talk shit.
Yeah,
exactly. There's some guys that love doing it, but I don't know. I like being a baby face, man. That's my preference.
Yeah, what does that feel like? You got to feel like you're floating off the air. You got electric through your veins when you just hear that crowd, and you put on a show.
Right.
Like I said, the outdoor match, like you had to. I'm sure you were hurting and all that stuff, and probably cold and sore, but it had to have felt good to know that you put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, hearing a crowd. I've had some really cool moments as a babyface. Like I've had paper streamers thrown at me. Like I've had crowds chant my name so hard that I can't even hear my entrance music, which is nuts. I'm super fortunate to have all that happen in this early on in my career. But yeah, it's you feed off of that, in the ring. The adrenaline starts pumping, and hearing your name get chanted, like it gives you goosebumps. And, sometimes it kind of takes away the pain when that adrenaline goes on. And then, after the adrenaline wears off after the show, you're like, oh crap, I can barely stand up. It's such a surreal, cool feeling, being loved by, a room full of people.
What do you like? What keeps you going? Like you're hurting, you're tired, all like you said, you're doing 5 shows in what 3 days? Like,
yeah.
The sleep has to be few and far between the hours. Like the meal's quick and on the go. Like, what goes through your mind to keep you pushing and to keep you going when most people would have folded a long time ago?
Yeah, like I said, I'm a big Kobe guy, and one of Kobe's go-to quotes were "rest at the end, not in the middle." So right now I'm in the middle, right? Like job's not finished. I think I'll rest, when, essentially I'm like a Hall of Fame worthy Mount Rushmore guy. Like that's just how I see it. Um, that's how it's always been for me. Like right now, I don't have time to stop and smell the roses. I mean, every now and then, like, oh, it's cool that I did this, but the second I do that, I'm going to get complacent. And, really it's just the job's not finished. Like right now, I'm not signed to a WWE, an AEW, an Impact, New Japan, and that's what motivates me, and that's what kind of puts a chip on my shoulder. And I guess I'll rest then. Maybe when I get to those places, I won't take 5 shows in 3 days. But really, it's just my passion. Like I love professional wrestling. I love the butterflies I get every time before I go through the curtain. I love putting on my kick pads and tying up my shoes. I love the sound the bell makes. I love the way the ropes feels. I love professional wrestling, and really it's just the passion and the love for the business too that keeps me going.
And do you remember, or could you tell us, recount that memory of the first time when you done something, whether it been in a match or in training, that you said, I can do this. This is for me.
I can make
Yeah.
a living at
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first time was on June 26, 2020, against my first match against my trainer, Jake Oman. I'm naturally a confident person. But, the first time you go through the curtain, it's a very nerve-wracking experience. And I didn't know how I would be able to go. My first match was in front of 400 people. The pressure was definitely on, and we were opening a show too. So we were on first, so I didn't have time to, stop and watch the show. Like I just had to go. And, the match went perfectly. It was everything that it should have been. And I remember leaving that match thinking to myself, like, okay, I can do this. And the rest was really history from there. And it just kept on motivating me to just keep on going harder. And, I've had multiple instances, throughout my journey that continue to motivate me like that.
What has been the highlight of your career so far?
Probably the highlight of my career was earning TJP's respect. So TJ Perkins he's a former WWE Cruiserweight champion. He won the Cruiserweight Classic. He's a big name, and I wrestled him a couple months ago at the Emerson Theater. We main evented. The match went well. I was really nervous for it, and I earned his respect that night, and that meant a lot to me. Now he's helping mentor me. I can call him a friend, and I think earning his respect was a huge accomplishment. And also, I think just making my trainer Jake Oman proud. I always wanted to make him proud. I always wanted to protect his reputation, and those two things are probably the biggest, I would say, highlights of my career so far.
It seems like y'all got a good group of guys that come out from over there who all train together, because all of you guys are very talented, and you seem to all have like such a passion for the art of it and to get it right, and like for it not to be.
And everybody speaks real highly of Jake.
You guys over there, like all the matches, and to get to meet all you guys and do all the interviews, and it's just you see the whole independent scene and everything in a whole different way, after seeing it from your perspective, hearing it come from your words, and it's like the respect that I have for you guys is like. It grew. I mean, I was already high because I've been a huge wrestling fan since I was a little kid, but it's just like so much higher because like the way that you guys put your bodies through, man, just like and all the time sacrifice and everything. It's just like and I give you guys props, man. Like,
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's independent wrestling is a very beautiful thing. Most of the guys you see on TV were doing this on the independent scene well longer before us. And I know you guys are big sports guys. Kind of make a sport analogy. Like, I feel like that's why so many people love like college sports. I know they're getting paid now, but like a couple of years ago, they were just playing for the love of the game. And realistically, that's what a lot of us are for. We're not getting rich, by this. Most of us still have to go to work on Monday morning, and we're all just doing it for the love of this beautiful art that is professional wrestling.
Yeah, I've been watching pro wrestling since I was a kid. And some of the best matches I've seen have been at independent shows.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm super happy to hear about that.
Like we used to, well, me and my dad and my son used to go to shows all the time. We saw Jake wrestle a bunch, probably
Okay.
15, 16 years ago.
Oh yeah, he's been around for that long. So yeah, that definitely adds up.
We helped the promoter, what was his name? Maples.
Oh, Jason Maples. Yeah, I've worked for him.
Years ago, we helped him do some shows here in Muncie, trying to help save a community center. And Omen was on a couple of them cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
Funny
of the best
story
matches
about.
I've seen have been independent.
Oh, yeah, and funny story about Jay, man. So he is actually, so Jake was trained by many people, but one of the people that trained him was Jason Maple. So Jay is actually, I like to joke around with him and call him my wrestling grandpa. So, because he trained my wrestling father, that is Jake. So yeah, I always joke with him that he's my wrestling grandpa. I don't think he likes hearing it, but he always gets a good laugh about it. So.
Yeah, we done a few shows with the Maples here in Muncie at Ross Community Center, trying to help. Well, that community center is still open now, but we was trying to help save it back then.
Nice. Okay. Very nice. Yeah. Always love, when it's bigger than wrestling and when, promotions get together and do things like that.
so since you do have such a strong background in football and a history of it, do you still keep up with football? Do you have a favorite team?
Yeah. So, college football wise, I'm a Notre Dame fan. And
Yeah,
then,
me too.
there we go. Good. We'll get along. We'll get along just fine then, bro. And then, NFL wise, Indianapolis Colts. Those are my two teams, which I see you guys are Colts fans in the background. So I think we'll get along fine with that one too.
Hopefully they play better this weekend.
I'm actually a Cowboys
Yeah.
fan.
Oh man. I mean, hey, at least you're not a Patriot fan or a Buccaneer fan. You're good with me, man.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I've been a Colts fan forever, but hopefully they play better this weekend.
No kidding. No,
Opening
yeah.
weekend
Last
was
Sunday
tough.
was rough. Yeah, that was brutal.
If a new guy was going to get into the business, what advice would you give him?
That's I would say, get into the best shape of your life. Because it's going to be tough. I went into it in pretty good shape, and I learned very quickly, like everyone else, that it's very challenging from a cardiovascular standpoint, so get in the best shape. But the most important thing, like I talked about earlier, was get quality training. Go to someone that has done something that you aspire to do, right? So Jake has had multiple WWE tryouts. He's wrestled in Japan, and those are two things that I want to do. So get trained by one of those guys, and just take your time, listen, and just be a sponge, because you don't know nothing when you start. So just listen, get good training, and just get into the best possible shape that you can get into. Those are like the three biggest things that I could recommend to any aspiring wrestler.
And what did your family, your friends, your girlfriend or whatever, whenever you told them, hey, I'm going to be a professional wrestler, from then when you first told them till now, how has the difference been?
When I told so there's a lot of people that I kind of pissed off when I said I was going to be a professional wrestler. Like being a professional wrestler was the first thing I ever did where like it was solely for me, right?
Right.
So I remember the first person I ever told I want to be a professional wrestler was my college football coach. So it was my exit interview, and usually we go over goals and like, hey, I want you to put on 10 pounds of muscle. I want you to increase your GPA, and I'm gonna switch you to play strong safety. So he's like going through his spiel, right, telling me all this, and I looked him in the eyes and I was like, hey, actually, coach, I'm gonna quit football to pursue professional wrestling. And he laughed. And he laughed at me, and I was like, oh man. And he's like, well, and he kind of got a little shitty with me. And sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on
No,
here.
you're
He got a
fine.
little
You're
okay,
fine.
okay, cool. Yeah, so he got a little upset with me, and he's like, well, call me when you wake up. And I was like, well, I'm never gonna call you. I was like, you'll see me on TV one day. And I actually technically did that because I wrestled at OVW and I was on OVW TV, but we got bigger goals. So, and then I remember telling my dad about it, and my stepmom about it, and they were so disappointed. They were like, "This is not good." Like, they were just so disappointed. Like, why don't you want to play football? Like, you've got all this going for you. Um, Truthfully, the only person I was excited about it was like my little brother. He was so stoked that his brother was going to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
And then very quickly, so like I could not get my parents to come to wrestling shows. Like they were just like, no, 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 no. So the first wrestling show they came to, I'm such like a date guy. I believe it was January 29th of 2021. So just this past year. And that was the night that I was fighting for the WCWO heavyweight championship against Jordan James. And it was the main event. And I was like, okay, this is a big match. I need my family there. My family was there, and they saw, my poster on the wall. They saw that I was main event, and they saw I was headlining. They, saw people, just cheering for me. They heard people, I should say, just cheering my name, chanting my name, seeing how much of a reaction I got when I went through the curtain. They saw me win the title. They saw paper streamers get thrown at me, and my dad's just like, holy crap, like, okay, like my dad has potential about this. And like it went from that to now my dad is like one of my biggest supporters. So like,
That's awesome.
oh yeah. So for anyone listening that's like, oh man, like I'm wrestling and my family's not understanding it or this, like just keep working and just, one day they will see it. So that was a huge relief. But yeah, most people other than my little brother, shout out to my little brother PJ, everyone was just like, no, this is awful. But now it's turned to that's all they can talk about. Like my dad goes to work and he's like, hey, look what my son did this weekend. And same with my mom. They couldn't be more proud of their son, which is an awesome feeling.
Yeah, that's gotta be awesome. So it's like you just take that and it was like, hey, I'm just gonna work my ass off and prove to them why they should trust what I say. Huh?
Oh yeah.
Is that kind of the mindset that you put yourself in after that?
Oh yeah. I'm a huge chip on the shoulder guy. Like
Yeah.
I've always got to find something to like, I don't know, like I'm cool and calm on the outside, but like I keep all that shit like in the front of my mind. So yeah, I'm a huge chip on the shoulder guy.
Uh, what has been the biggest promotion that you've wrestled in so far?
I would probably say that would be OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling. That would probably be the biggest one. That's where like Lesnar and Orton and Cena and Punk all came out of. But that's probably the biggest promotion that I've wrestled at.
Is there anything that you do pre-match, like to get yourself ready, especially if it's like one of them hardcore matches?
Oh yeah, so I've only had one of those, and I'm hoping to retire from those and never do them again. That one, man, I had to put myself in a really like a very like unique mindset. But usually, usually I'm in the locker room. I'm putting my gear on. I'm very superstitious, so like I'll always put on my left boot before my right boot, and I'll always tape my left wrist before my right wrist. But normally, I think just the generic answer is like, oh, I stretch and this. Well, obviously, like we all do that, but really for me, I'll usually always have like a pre-match prayer that I'll always say, and I'll just always think before I go through the curtain, like of how far I've come. I'm like, man, like this is this is the stuff I dreamed of, like this is, and like I'm living it now. So really that's kind of just like my big mindset.
In the independent scene, do the wrestlers help each other, or is it such a competition that maybe there's animosity, or how does that work?
I mean,
everybody's trying to get match time, so you're kind of competing against each other.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that competition, right? Like everyone wants to be in the main event, and if you're not wanting to be in the main event, like I don't know why you're not in it, right? Like we're all in it to be the top guy. But I mean, there's many people that you'll see. I mean, yeah, there are some of those guys, but there are some really great guys too. Like there's some really, standout veterans. Jake is one of those guys that'll go out of his way to help you out. Hillbilly Jed will, Joey Owens will. Like I met one this past weekend at Jeremy Hadley, phenomenal guy. And I haven't had any instances where anyone's kind of treated me like crap. I've heard some stories, but everyone's treated me pretty well. So that's what I always try to do. I always try to pay it forward. Like you guys mentioned Eric and Zay, like on Tuesday, I was helping them out with their move set, at practice. I was trying to help them out. I was trying to teach them why we do things the way that we do. Logan is someone I've kind of taken underneath my wing, and he's pretty much like my road wife. Like we go to shows together all the time. And I'm trying to help him out in any way that I can, just because I don't know, like I want to see all my friends, have success. So I try not to be that guy that's hard to work with.
I mean, having better competition means you have a better match too, right? And then you all get better, and then it's a win-win for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Like I mean, this is going to sound a little contradictory, but yeah, like I don't want to be the best guy on the show. Because if I'm the best guy on the show and I know that, like, yeah, eventually I'm human. There's going to be complacency. Like I want to be on shows with elite level talent.
Somebody you're chasing.
What's that?
I said somebody that you're chasing.
Oh, exactly. Like it's, just because that's how it's been in every single show that I've ever been champion at. It's like I show up, there's a guy, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to outwork him, and I'm going to try to outperform him every single night. And I'm just going to just wrestle that much harder. And, I think that's what all like young guys should do is like, strive to be better than who the top guy is on the card. And, try to learn from him, but, just try to go out there and work harder and just try to make that opportunity yours.
What's one common misconception that just the average non-wrestling fan or somebody that's just a casual here and there wrestling fan has about wrestling?
I would say that that it doesn't hurt, right? Like that it's all smoke and mirrors, I mean, it's a brutal sport. I mean, I'm sore every day, and I'm a young guy, and, I'm at, I can tell when it's going to rain outside. I can feel it on my knees. I don't remember the last time my neck or my back wasn't sore. I mean, there's guys backstage that when they go to the curtain, they're like, oh man, they look like $1 million. But when they get back to the curtain, you see how much pain they're in. So I would say that's the biggest misconception, because I was once that guy that thought like, oh, well, a wrestling ring is like a mattress. Like it's not. So I would say just, the pain management. I think people very much so underestimate that.
I don't know how you guys take those chops all the damn time.
Oh, they hurt, man. Yeah, it's not a good time. Not a good time.
He took 3 of them at that last show.
Ooh, man. Who are they from?
Dex Royal, JKO, and Max Sterling.
All 3 of those dudes throw real good chops. So you'll feel them in the morning. I mean, you'll feel them right away, but yeah.
Yeah, I was bruised for about a week.
Oh yeah. That adds up, man. That definitely adds up. Yeah, it's a new sensation. Yeah.
They got me after the last show in Muncie. They got me down there, and I thought I was just getting 1, and it ended up being 3.
Oh man. Well, hey, there you go, man. Way to fight through. So you get the pain management thing. There you go.
Hey, the other guys that do the podcast with me, the one disappeared because he wasn't going down there.
I had to control the camera.
Eric, I got to control the camera.
Yeah. They were like, "Oh no, I ain't taking that." Like, you have a good time though, man. Yeah.
I'll film you doing it.
Yeah. I'll record you taking it, but I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie.
That's exactly what I did.
He recorded me, and the other guy was just up there laughing the whole time.
Oh, that's great. I would be doing the same thing if it was my buddies.
Oh, I
Truthfully.
would have if it had been one of them down there. I'd have been laughing at that episode.
Yeah.
So how many times have you put your non-wrestling friends in wrestling moves?
Not very often. I honestly, I don't think I. I mean, I think I've given like a few buddies chops, but other than that's about it, man. Just because
I'd be
I
getting
don't
my
know.
buddies all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've had like a few of them drink a few beers, like, all right, let's fight. But other than that, that's about it. So, luckily they understand. They learned their lesson the first time they saw my buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time.
Come on, chop me.
Yeah, chop.
And I'm like, oh, here we go. So,
Drop kick me.
yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I'll tell them. Like, we'll get the chop first, and then we'll work our way up to a drop kick. Yeah.
Have you had any crazy fan interactions?
Oh man. Oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, it's a very unique business. So I got a message not too long ago on Facebook of all places. And this individual messaged me, asking like some very personal questions. Like, this conversation's getting weird. I'm not going to respond to this. And he asked to buy some of my ring worn gear, and then it turned into ring worn gear to like feet pics. And then he's like, "Oh, and can I get your toenail clippings?" He offered to buy my toenail clippings, and I was like, "Man," I was like, "This is getting weird." I was like, "Thank God the blog button's a thing." But I mean, I've had that. I've also had I've had a fan. There's a fan that was at a show of mine about a month ago, and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get your logo tattooed on me." I was like, "Yeah, right." Like, "No, you're not." And then she comes to the next show that I'm on the next week, and she's got my logo tattooed on her calf. And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And now she just messaged me, actually, it was yesterday, asking like if I could like sign a piece of paper for her and give it to her so she can get my signature tattooed on her. So I was like, man, that's insane. And like, I've had like, some female fans, just the typical ones of like, "Oh, like, are you single?" This and that. Like, I would never truthfully date a fan. But yeah, those are just some of the little snippets to kind of go into my bizarre experiences, from toenail clippings to tattoos. So
wow. Yeah, and you still got a long career ahead of you, so it could get way worse.
Oh, y'all, I'll call up G.S.R.
Keep us updated
every time it happens. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I'll come back on in a couple of months, and I'll probably have like a dozen more crazy stories for you guys.
What's your end goal with all this?
I think it would be. I mean, it would have to be. I'd always say this. I want to be a WWE Hall of Famer, or I want to be on AEW and be considered one of their greatest guys. Like, wherever I go for, like, I want to be like a Hall of Fame worthy professional wrestler. And I want to be a world champion. And I just want to be one of the absolute all-time greatest. That's really my end goal.
How many championships have you held so far in your career?
So far, I believe I am at 4 right now.
Do you currently hold any?
Yeah. So currently, I am the RCW Heart of the Revolution champion, and I'm also the Warrior Professional Wrestling Heavyweight champion.
Do you have the gold with you?
They are in my car trunk. Unfortunately, that's where they. That's kind of where they live. Honestly, sometimes I even forget they're there. So just because there's been a few instances where I've had to turn around where I've left the title. So usually I keep them there, or they're on my couch. Yeah, they're kind of left over, but right now I believe both of them are in my trunk as we speak. So
And when will you defend those?
yeah, so I will defend the RCW Heart of the Revolution Championship on October 2nd against former WWE wrestler and Impact wrestler Shannon Moore.
Nice.
So I'm defending against him, and then I'm defending my Warrior Professional Wrestling Championship. I believe the next show is on October 17th, and I'm not sure who that will be against yet. I think we're still waiting to sign that contract. So there's been a few rumors of who it may be, but I'm not sure yet. But both those dates, rest assured, I will be defending my titles.
Where's the show at on the 2nd?
So the one on the 2nd is in South Bend, Indiana at the Goodsit Event Center. And then October 17th is in Danville, Indiana. And I think it's at the 4-H fairgrounds there. So
what's your finishing move, and how did you decide on what was going to be your finisher when you started?
man, so like I had a lot of crappy finishing moves when I first started. Like they were all like, the first one was super boring. It was like a Cobra Clutch Slam. And I was like, man, like this doesn't fit. And I think I used like a generic cutter for the longest time because I didn't know what to do. And then I came across the number one knee is what I call it, where essentially it's just a running knee. So just jump off my feet as fast as I can and take my knee and drive it up against their head. Because really, I saw Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah.
I'm a big Jorge Masvidal guy.
Against Ben Askren.
Oh yeah, it honestly is that clip. I was like, man, I gotta use a running knee, the Shadow Realm. I'm not gonna call it the Shadow Realm, but I was like, I gotta use that. So that's kind of where it was all born. I was like, oh, and I was like, that's what I got to do. So that's kind of how I came across it. And really, I didn't have a name for it, but like one of my wrestling nicknames is the number one overall pick, Blake Money Wright. And a guy that goes to WCWO, his name's Andre. He's like, man, you should call it the number one knee. And I was like, well, it's got a good ring to it. So the rest is history. And that's what all the commentators call it these days, is the number one knee.
The number one knee. Nice. So now we know for future references, the number one knee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you see that get hit? You see me hit that? It's over. 1, 2, 3. Ain't nobody kicking out of that. So,
Lights out.
Yeah.
And how did you come up with Blake Money Wright?
Yeah. So in college, I was playing college football, and I very much so enjoyed the college lifestyle. Right. So this was right around the time Johnny Manziel was getting real popular at Texas A&M, and I was a big Johnny Manziel guy. Love Johnny football. And, I would go out and like party the night before a game, be up till like 3 or 4 a.m., show up the next day and still ball out. And they were like, oh man, like you're kind of like Johnny football. So there's a joke, they kept calling me Johnny and stuff. Right. So when I was and I remember when Johnny Manziel scored a touchdown, he'd always do like the money sign. Right. And he got the nickname Money Manziel. Yeah. So then when I was training one day, I was like, you know what? I was like, okay. So I was like going through names. All I know is like, I wanted to hit the money sign. So I was like, because Blake Wright's my real name. I kept it. My trainer's like, it's a good name. You should keep it. And he came up with the whole entire, like, hey, like, okay, you want to be the Johnny Manziel of football. Like, even though Johnny Manziel was a select number one overall, he's like, you're the number one overall pick. You're Blake Money Wright. And really the rest was history from there. And thanks to my college football teammates and the wonderful fraternities that Anderson and Muncie, Indiana had. That's kind of where Blake Money Wright was born. So, and really it's just me just kind of turned up a few notches. So, and that's what I love the most about it. It's authentic. And I think that's why fans relate so much to it.
Yeah, I definitely know about them Ball State times. Like,
I was a regular.
Of long nights in Ball State.
I was a regular at the Delta House. I was there all the time, to the point where like they were like, "You don't even go here." I was like, "Yeah, I know." I was like, "I absolutely don't go here." I was like, "Anderson's just a very quiet, laid back campus," and Ball State's definitely not. So yeah, I had a lot of memorable times there. So yeah, chirp to say the least.
Before we get out of here, do you have anything you'd like to plug or get out there?
Yeah, so Instagram at Blake Money Wright. That's one word. Twitter, it's too many characters to be at Blake Money Wright. It's just at Blake_Wright. And yeah, just support your local indie shows wherever that may be. And yeah, that's and keep on listening to G.S.R. too. All right, yeah, you guys gotta keep on supporting my boys.
Yeah.
So
We appreciate that.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate y'all having me on.
Hey, you're welcome to come back on anytime.
Oh yeah, you got some new fans here, and we'll be definitely looking forward to seeing what's happening in your career from here on out. And we wish you nothing but the best of luck, and good health, and longevity, and all that good stuff. And hey, one day we're gonna turn on TV and see Blake Money Wright on WWE.
Absolutely, yes, sir. You are.
All right, we thank you for your time.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on. And yeah, I'll be sure to send you that promo pic. And yeah, anything you guys need, you let me know, and I'll be sure to share the hell out of it.
All right, welcome back to the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that conversation with the number one overall pick, Blake Money Wright. Eric, you got anything? What did you think about the conversation? I thought it was a good conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a good conversation.
I'm looking forward to getting to go see him wrestle live.
Yeah.
After watching some of his matches yesterday, I'd like to go see him live. I think it'd be a good show.
Oh yeah, can't wait to go to the WCWO and go watch all them guys live.
Yeah.
But it's soon we're gonna go. When is that? Next weekend.
That's what we're planning on.
Yeah.
Trying to get down there next Friday.
Yeah, we'll be over there. Hopefully we'll be down there to see him live next weekend, and can't wait for that. That should be really exciting. Should be a good time. I know. Shout out to Blake and all the rest of the guys out over there, and keep doing y'all's thing, man. We enjoy it. Seems like a lot of people enjoy it.
If you guys enjoyed this interview, check out our YouTube page. We have interviews with about 6 or 7 other pro wrestlers on there. We have a couple more coming up, so if you enjoyed them, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you get notifications when we're live. That way you won't miss them. Also, we're live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern with Easy Money, a sports betting show. Come join us for that. We're giving out winners. That's on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch as well. We're also live with G.S.R. Gonzo Sports Room Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We talk about sports, talk about pro wrestling, basically talk about anything.
Yeah.
And then also you can find GSR and Easy Money in podcast form on Apple Podcasts, Anchor Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Follow us on social media. That's where we post everything we post all of our picks on there, all of our announcements about our shows and interviews. So follow us at Gonzo Sports Room on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That way you won't miss any of that. Also, we're going to be live tomorrow at 3:30 with a live watch along in reaction to the UFC Fight Night, Smith versus Spann. So come join us for that. It's going to be a good time. And also we have merch. Check out our merch store, streamlabs.com/Gonzalez Sports /merch. We have t-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies. We had a couple new shirts just dropped last week. One of them is the Missing Steve shirt. Make sure you check that shirt out.
That's a great shirt.
Also, we got the GSR shirt. But yeah, we also have a donation page at that same link if you'd like to donate to the show to help the show grow. We greatly appreciate that as well. You can find that link in the video description, or it's also going across the bottom of the screen in the ticker. You have anything else?
Yeah, keep an eye out for upcoming shows for
Next Friday.
some of our upcoming events. Like I said, tomorrow night. So we got the UFC watch along. If you're out looking for something to do, come join me. I will be at the Guardian at Mad Jack's for Oktoberfest there. What else do we got? October 3rd. We got DCCW Harvest Havoc 3. That's at Mad Jack's in Muncie. So come out and support that. And that's going to be a great show. And you better get your tickets fast because they're selling out. And they're selling quick. So get your shows to the Delaware County Championship Wrestling Harvest Havoc 3, October 3rd at Mad Jack's in Muncie.
Also, next Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have the director, Hollywood House, is going to be on the show with us. He's going to be live at 1 p.m.
Yep, that's going to be a great
That's
show.
going to be a great conversation, so make sure you tune in for that. Like Eric said, if you need tickets for the Harvest Havoc 3, get a hold of Coondog, Terry Coons, or get a hold of me. Get them at Byrider. You can get them at Greek's Pizza on the Galliard.
Message Delaware County Championship Wrestling Facebook page and
Get your tickets
and
soon.
somebody can get a hold of you
It's
there.
going to be a sellout, so you better get your tickets soon. Just keep an eye out. Working on getting a couple more interviews in, so keep your eye out for that. We appreciate everybody watching.
We're having the Mike King interview.
It'll be getting rescheduled.
So shout out to Mike King.
Hope he's doing better.
Yeah, hope you're feeling better, bud.
All right.
And everybody else, be safe, have fun. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Peace.
See, hope to see you guys tomorrow at 3:30 for the UFC. If not, we'll see you guys Monday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, with Easy Money, a sports betting show. Also, we did forget one thing. We'll be live next Sunday for the Extreme Rules WWE pay-per-view.
Extreme Rules, yeah.
We're gonna do a live watch along for that next Sunday.
And one last time, condolences again to the Lipscomb family, to Matt G. Again, if you need anything, get a hold of any of us.
Just hit us up, bro.
Yep.
All right, everybody have a great weekend. Be safe. Peace.
Nigga that I